Hey, how's it going, guys? So we are here at San Jose Regionals. We just got finished with an expanded tournament. I have with me
Brian Ortiz.
Okay, and he ended up getting, what place did you get?
20th.
20th place. And the deck that you were piloting for this tournament was?
Filthy Nightmarch.
Filthy Nightmarch.
With Zoroark GX.
With Zoroark GX.
Even filthier.
The filthiest version that we could have thought of. So yeah. So he ended up getting 20th place, which is a really good standing. He was representing for SoCal. He's one of the few players from SoCal that got a top cut. So yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you're our champion.
Okay.
So yeah. So with that said, let's get into the deck profile and break down what he was running. Okay, so we're gonna start off with the Pokemon lineup.
Alright, starting off Filthy Nightmarch list for Joltik, for Pumpkaboo, and for Lampent. Nothing surprising there.
Very standard for all, if any, Nightmarch decks.
Absolutely necessary. Each of these guys has the Nightmarch attack, which does 20 times the number of Nightmarchers in your discard pile. For the most part, you want to be attacking with Pumpkaboo. Oricorio is a big deal these days, and that slightly higher HP means that you're less vulnerable to it. Alright, moving on. We do have a new addition to this deck. We have a 2-2 Zoroark GX line. Some players have opted for a 1-1 line. I think that would be okay, but 2-2 is very, very comfortable, especially when you get Karen. A lot of your battle compressors and ultra balls to discard your Nightmarchers are gone. So the trade ability allows you to really lean on that to get your to discard your Nightmarchers. So that's a great new addition. Sometimes it can attack also, so that's cool. Also, I should say, the Dark Explorer Zora is probably better than these two. These are the only two I had, so we went with that one. And then we do have the one Marshadow GX. He's really, really good. Unfortunately, he does get shut off by Alolan Muck, which is being run a lot right now in Zoroark lists. So you try to get value out of him early before Alolan Muck gets online.
Before it comes out in Rexter Day.
Absolutely. Otherwise, he's really useless. You don't really want to spend a Guzma or a Lysander to KO a Muck, so get value out of him early. Then we do have 2 Shaman and 1 Alele for consistency.
And for draw support.
Absolutely. Okay. Moving on. We got 2 Dimension Valley. It seems kind of low. In the past, I know Nightmarch has played a slightly higher stadium count, 3. 2 is just fine.
Did you ever think of running 1 Dimension Valley, 1 Parallel?
1 Parallel City? I did encounter the mirror one round that did run Parallel. And I'm sure there's a really good reason why it's there, but I can't off the top of my head
think of why.
Maybe it's to
stop Zoroark, to stop Rayquaza, to slow them down so they can one-shot your Marshadow.
All of these sound good, but I can't really think of the really big reason why you would run Parallel City. But someone will probably tell me in the comments. All right, we got for supporters 3 Juniper, awesome. 1 N. For our gusting effects, we have 1 Lysander, 1 Guzma. Pretty comfortable. We do have the Feared Getsus, part of what makes the deck filthy. Being able to Getsus on the first turn and shuffle away all of your opponent's items is a big deal. We have Ranger. This card was completely useless throughout the tournament. I expected more Toad on the day, and while there was Toad, it's not really all that necessary to deal with Toad. You can just switch into your Zoroark GX and swing away with his attack.
Right.
We do have Teammates, really great card in the deck. Anytime your Nightmarches go down, you could use this to get the pieces you need. For our A-Spec, we do run Computer Search. Dowsing Machine is perfectly respectable, but Computer Search bails me out of so many situations, so that's the A-Spec I run. For items, we have for Battle Compressor, the lifeblood of the deck. This is what we use to discard our dudes. Ultra Ball to that end as well. Puzzle of Time to reuse our resources, get everything we need. Be a Seeker. great as always. 3 Trainer's Mail. I think that might be a slightly lower count than what other people are playing, but I think 3 is fine. Anyway, we got 1 special charge to get back our double colorless. We do play 4, and that's all we play, so this card's very important. 1 Field Blower to get rid of some tools, fighting Fury Belts to make our math easier, stuff like that. And then we do run 2 Choice Bands. I think this might be, I could be wrong, but this might be a slightly higher count than most people have. I found that it's really necessary to get into this tool to KO Gardevoir GX. So we wanted to get more outs to have that KO.
Did you ever think of doing the 1-1 split between a Choice Band and a Muscle Band? That way, if you encounter something pesky that wasn't a GX or EX, you were still getting that optimal 20 out.
I didn't consider it, but I'm considering it now. Muscle Band. Yeah, I think so. I think it's worth a second look, but Choice Band is an extra 30, and it makes for a lot of nice math right now. The extra 30, and you don't want to. This means that you don't have to put in that many discard many Nightmarchers, so you're less vulnerable to Oricorio. So it's kind of nice that way. Then the last tool we have is Floatstone. Okay, so Floatstone.
Here we go.
Here's the thing. I'm kind of really skeptical about the switching effects in Nightmarch. It's so important to have your Floatstone. It's like, because you're getting KO'd left and right. So you have to be able to have a guy ready on the bench to go. But sometimes you don't always achieve that. And so you have these awkward situations where you promote something you don't really want to attack with, whether it be Zoroark or Shaman, or even Lele. And so you're going to have to, you think yourself, okay, I'm going to have to find the puzzles of time to get back Floatstone if it was discarded, or I may not even attack. I mean, you could try to Guzma your way out of the situation, but that's also not always the case. So, I don't know, I think the switching options in Nightmarch, for me at least, has to be revisited. This created a lot of problems here and there. I mean,
would you...
It could be, I am new to the deck, so...
No, Nightmarch has always had... Me as a veteran Nightmarch player, I know that switching is an issue. And Floatstone does work sometimes, but it also does not work sometimes.
Yeah.
So, with that said, lots of older lists would run Switch or Escape Rope.
Escape Rope, right? That's something I really wanted to add in the list,
but
just
then,
as another out.
The only thing about Escape Rope is it does force your opponent to switch, and they'll throw whatever they see fit into the mix.
Right.
So sometimes Escape Rope was great, but sometimes Escape Rope hurt you more than it was helping you out.
True.
So that's something to consider as well.
Yeah, so for me, this seemed a little anemic, but you can get by without it, obviously. But there are those situations that happen constantly, and I don't know, it'll have to be revisited for me if I ever play the deck again. Okay, cool. And we do have, finally, of course, the 4 DCE. We need these to attack, they're great. And yeah, that rounds out the deck.
Cool. And that was the deck profile right there. Alright guys, that was the stunning deck, which was called Nightmarch Filthy version.
Yeah.
Or Filthy Nightmarch. Okay. So, what were your thoughts after day 1?
After day 1? I was very, very surprised at... I expected Guardy to be a lot more successful than it did. I think only a few made cut. And I was really scrambling to know my ways through the Zoroark matchup, which was very, very popular on the day, and it became very successful. That's, for me, was the least experience I had in that matchup.
What was the worst matchup of day 1 for you?
I mean, on paper, it should be Sableye Guard. I played 2 of them on day 1. And I guess it should be a bad matchup because they discard all your stuff, right, and they make it difficult for you to attack. But I beat them both. So in reality, though, I think the hardest matchup for me was Gliscopod Zoroark. It was being piloted by a really good player, and the aggression of that deck is really fast. And they were able to combine that with Oricorio and Puzzle of Time to really give you a hard time.
Okay, so transitioning from day one, after you knew what the meta was, because coming into San Jose, we were all blindsided. We didn't know what was going to be in top tables. When we heard that
for the most part,
when we heard like a Wailord, Tropical Beach had made top cut, we were like,
wasn't that awesome?
Yeah, we were like, what? So it was a very random turn of events for all of us. But even with that said, you were still able to make meta calls going into day two. And what were those meta calls?
Right. So I had to learn how to try to maneuver through that Gliscopod Zoroark matchup and that straight Zoroark matchup. The straight Zoroark matchup is kind of tricky. They have the Alolan Muck, which shuts down your Marshadow, which is an easy way to knock out Zoroark GX. So, I talked that over with some people, and they told me that you got to get value out of your Marshadow early before that Muck comes online. One tricky thing about that Muck is that a lot of people are running more than one Grimer, so that if you did try to go after the Muck, they could just rescue search the Muck and evolve another Grimer they already have benched. So it hardly seems worth it to go after it sometimes. So that's tricky. They also have one prize attackers that could be kind of deadly, like Mindjack Zoroark from Breakthrough. So that's tough. Gliscopod Zoroark also pretty tough, I think. And what for me the big thing about that is that you have to reach 210 to one-hit KO them.
That's a big number.
That's a somewhat big number, yeah, right. And so you have to be very careful about that because you have to play around Oricorio at the same time. So that's a big deal, and they can reuse Oricorio a lot because they have Puzzles of Time. So
Okay. So overall, your overall experience with San Jose, how was it?
It was great. I'm becoming hopefully a better player, playing alongside much better players than me. Hopefully will give me, I could see how they play, try to imitate what they do. And I did get to meet and interact with a lot of really good players, and you get to learn from them, if not by taking a look at how they play. So I think it's a stepping stone. Hopefully we'll be able to grow from here.
Cool, perfect. And where do we see you going from here? Where is your next big event that we'll see you at?
I really want to go to Memphis to play Crabominable. I really want to go to Memphis to play Crabominable. So we'll see if we can make that happen.
Okay, cool, perfect. Well, hopefully you make it to Memphis, and more than likely, if you do make it there, you will be triumphant, as you always are. And
okay.
From what we've seen so far. So we hope nothing but the best for you.
Thank you.
Okay? And with that said, guys, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure to share the video if anybody wants to know what got 20th place at San Jose Regionals. With that said, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.
Peace.